What, sweetie? Oh, want to pick you up? Here, come here. Okay, okay. Sorry, cat wanted to get picked up. Nico Pico. This involves the Veterans Affairs. Okay, the Veterans Affairs is cutting something like 60 to 80,000 jobs. So right away, the fake media, oh, they're hurting our veterans. They're just going to screw our veterans. Our veterans won't get care. More lies from the leftists that run this country. That is not true. They are not cutting veterans' benefits. Collins, who is the head of the VA now, was on one of the fake news networks, CNN, MSDNC, or one of those, and they said, well, you're cutting this many jobs. You're cutting, benefits for veterans and care. He says, you guys are trying to scare my veterans. We are not cutting anything for veterans. We are cutting those jobs that are no longer needed. Most of those jobs are in Washington, D.C. at the headquarters. When you have 5 managers for one department, that's 4 managers too many. That's what they're cutting. Now, there is a shortage. There's always been a shortage for providers at the VA. I don't really know why, but there's always been a shortage because, believe me, they are well paid. Now, up in Saginaw, okay, President Trump said that government employees have to return to work. I am 100% agree with that. When the China virus hit, they took the VA, tried to get all the veterans, don't come in, especially mental health. Don't come in, we'll do it by phone. They tried to force me into that, and I said, fuck you. I demand to be seen in person. And I was, because I don't do the phone bullshit. So everybody has to go back to work May 5th, okay? Now, what's happened is, you got to remember that at the veterans, those people were in the office until the China virus hit. Then they were say, okay, you can work from home. We don't care really too much about the veterans because you got to remember who this was under. The old leader of the VA. So now they have to come back to work. Up in Saginaw, Michigan, it's amazing how many providers, that's what they call them, providers, how many providers refused to come back to work and they quit. So what does that tell me? That tells me, fuck you veterans. That's what they're saying. We don't care about veterans enough to come back to the office after being off for, 2 years, 2.5 years, or whatever, 3 years, anyway, whatever it hit. They're telling veterans, we don't care about you. And that's exactly what they're doing. So yes, there's going to be more shortages at the VA, but that is because the providers themselves decided we don't care enough about the veterans to return to the office. And that, my friends and my fellow veterans, is bullshit. If you think about it, they don't care about you at all. And there's a lot of people at the VA that should be fired because they don't care about veterans. So anyway, that's more lies spread by the leftists, spread by the fake news. They are not cutting those jobs. Those people are choosing not to come back to work in the office because they want to sit at home on their ass and not work. That is the truth in the matter. That's who's getting cut. There are a handful of people. There's a Dr. Phelps that works out of Saginaw, but she doesn't have an office. She never had an office. The government had a contract with her that she works from home because she's up in Traverse City and they don't have an office up there, and she works part-time up there, not part-time, but she works up there, and she also works in Florida because she goes to Florida during the winter, certain months of winter. And unfortunately, she has to retire because they don't have an office in either place for her. And that's wrong. They should have, okay, you want to go down, sweetie? No, you don't want to go down. So she has to retire because they don't have a place for her to work, even though her contract says she'll work from home. And it's secure. I do video chats with her every 2 or 3 months, but I go into the VA for those chats, okay, on a video. I don't know, they call it something else besides that. So she's doing her job. She's one of the best people. She's a psychiatrist. She is fantastic. She is absolutely the best psychiatrist that I've ever dealt with, ever. She also listens to you. She also knows a great deal about different medications. I complained to her about a few different things, not medication-wise, but a few different problems, and she says, well, have they given you this medication? I'm like, no. How about this? No. So she actually prescribed medications for me that aren't related, to mental health, because she could do that. That shows you what fantastic lady, just awesome. And basically, they're forcing her to retire simply because they don't have an office for her, and they're the ones that breach a contract. So anyway, don't believe all the bullshit. They're not getting rid of providers. Any providers that are quitting, it's up to them. They do not want to come back to work because they do not care about veterans, period. Because if you work at the VA and you really like the veterans, love veterans, want to help veterans, you absolutely will come to work to help those veterans. So now, all of a sudden, all these providers, at least up in Saginaw, Michigan, are quitting, and that's going to put a burden on the VA system trying to replace all the workers that are quitting. They're not being fired. They're quitting of their own, what do they say, their own accord. So anyway, if you want to subscribe, hit the little B in the bottom right-hand corner. And don't believe in all that fake news. Collins explained it, said it the way it is, and there you go. So if you want to subscribe, hit the little B in the bottom right-hand corner. And, I appreciate veterans. I'm a veteran myself. My son was a veteran. And, my dad was a veteran. So, yeah, respect veterans. And a lot of people don't respect veterans. And when you're out in public, as a veteran, I have my veteran hat on. A lot of times I'll have my veteran jacket or veteran shirts on. It makes me feel really, really good when somebody comes up and they say, thank you for your service. You people that are not veterans don't really, and there's a lot of veterans that don't give a shit too, don't get me wrong. I'm one of the old veterans that believes in honor, that believes in pride, that understands what that flag stands for. But anyway, the people that are quitting the VA providers, they don't care about you. Period. Thanks for watching.